Hello, my dear UPSC aspirants. Welcome back to the part 2 session of Sunaja's Daily News Analysis. So, in the second session, we will be discussing about sacrilege related to Punjab. Now, what is sacrilege? Sacrilege is a violation or misuse of what is regarded as sacred. Now, in a disturbing sequence of events, recently, 2 days back, two men were beaten to death over alleged attempts to commit sacrilege in the Sanctum Sanctorum of the Golden Temple in Amritsar and on the Sikh flag in a Gurudwara at Nijampur village in Kapurthala earlier this week in Punjab. So, this was the context based on our today's discussion. So, where the article mentions the use of vigilantism as retaliation for the alleged acts is clearly illegal, but it is deeply problematic in other ways as it has disallowed any possibility of unraveling what is the prime cause for all these incidents to occur and if they were attempts to foment communal tensions. Like in the Nijampur incident, the police have said that the unidentified man who was lynched by Sevadas at the Gurudwara was most likely a thief, which suggests that the police must book those who took the law into their hands. Thus, upholding law and order is paramount in diffusing tensions related to inflamed religious passions, and unfortunately, the proximity of elections seems to deter this possibility. Now, let's look into detail about the Punjab Assembly, which passed this bill to curb sacrilege in the year 2018. Regarding that, we will discuss. The Punjab Assembly unanimously passed a bill which proposes life imprisonment for the desecration of Guru Granth Sahib, Gita, Quran and Bible in Punjab. Now, the IPC, Punjab Amendment Bill 2018, seeks to amend Indian Penal Code by inserting Section 295AA. So what is this 295A? Under the existing Section 295A, punishment is for a maximum of 3 years imprisonment with or without fine. That means it enhances the punishment under Section 295 IPC, that is injuring or defiling place of worship with intent to insult the religion of any class, from 2 to 10 years of imprisonment. Let's look into detail the background of all these things. See, in March 2016, the then government had passed the Indian Penal Code Punjab Amendment Bill 2016 and the Code of Criminal Procedure Punjab Amendment Bill 2016, recommending life sentence for desecration of Guru Granth Sahib only. Now, the centre had asked the Punjab government to either withdraw the bill or include all religions in the proposed amendment if it wanted the bill to be looked at. The centre had returned the bill saying all religions needed to be treated equally as per the secular nature of the constitution and it could not single out religion to propose life imprisonment for defiling Guru Granth Sahib. Now, as a result, what happened? The Punjab Assembly withdrew the 2016 bill and passed the new bill proposing life imprisonment for desecration of religious scriptures of all the four religions. The new bill retains all the earlier amendment proposed in 2016 bill. Now, what is the Section 295A of IPC? See, it says that whoever with deliberate and malicious intention of outraging the religious feelings of any class, citizens of India, by words either spoken or written or by signs or by visible representations or otherwise, insults or attempts to insult the religion or the religious beliefs of that class shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 3 years or with fine or with both. That means this particular section seeks to preserve harmony in a multi-religious society by sanctioning penal action against those attempting to disturb the peace. Now, in the year 1957, even a 5-judge bench of the Supreme Court upheld it constitutionally. Next, what are the concerns regarding this particular thing? See, Section 295, which has been the Indian version of anti-blasphemy law since its introduction during the colonial rule, continues even after blasphemy being abolished in the UK. This has chilling effect on freedom of speech and expression. However, IPC already has several other provisions to deal with those attempting to breach communal harmony. It may be wise to consider doing away with Section 295 altogether. Now, Section 295A deters even honest attempts to fight against superstition and prejudices, the broad ambit of the offence, and sometimes even put the government and courts in difficult situations. The wide ambit of Section 295A has not spared even literary expressions. It has startled even the votaries of the provision with unintended consequences. The biggest example is imposition of this section on M.F. Hussein's paintings. You might be knowing that issue. Now, what is the suggestions or how we can move ahead with this? These sections of the IPC are a big impediment to recent debate in India. Free speech, when exercised by individuals, challenges the minds and empowers the progress of societies. Now, Recently, India has witnessed a wave of violence in the name of religion. A challenging task, therefore, for opinion makers, legislators, and writers is crucial to the role of religion in society. Now, what is free speech? Free speech is the engine of democracies, where Article 19(1) subclause A of the Constitution guarantees a fundamental right that all citizens shall have the right to freedom of speech and expression. Moreover, the framers of the Constitution chose not to make blasphemy a restriction on free speech. Now, holy scriptures of various religions need to be examined and challenged so that the followers of those religions can move on a path of enlightenment away from the religion into the embrace of science and rational thinking. Now, the recent announcement by the PM on Independence Day to send an India into space by 2022 is a bold step to inject among Indian minds an attitude to look forward. Now, recently, India has witnessed a wave of violence in the name of religion as well. So, the proposed law seeks to do two things. One, it arms religious forces that seek to curb free speech in Indian society, whereby they will enable war to threaten and harass individuals in the name of so-called hurt religious sentiments. And second one is, this type of law gives more muscle to the police and politicians to harass critics for political purposes, thereby undermining the secular morality of the Constitution. So, political parties committed to peace in the state must seek to diffuse any public anger over the alleged acts of sacrilege and not let it descend into communal tensions. And in today's article also, the same thing which I discussed about section 295A of the IPC was mentioned. Understood? So, that's all regarding today's topic related to sacrilege. So, hope these concepts are crystal clear for all of you. Thanks for watching my video sessions. Stay safe, take care, have a good day and bye.